Hi everyone, welcome to our demonstration of the application for the Hire a New Apprentice payment. So myself, along with Adam, we're going to demonstrate how to make a successful application for this incentive payment for hiring a new apprentice. So as you can see here, we are logged into a dummy employer account on the apprenticeship service. So in this demo, we assume that the organisation in question has signed the latest version of their legal agreement with the ESFA and has added apprentices to their account with estimated start months between August 2020 and January 2021. Both of these tasks are essential before you can begin to apply. So to begin our application, we click the Apply for the Hire a New Apprentice payment link, which has been added to your account's homepage. You can see it there in the Finances section. You'll notice that we state that you may apply for the payment if your apprentice was hired between the 1st of August 2020 and the 31st of January 2021. So if we click that link, cool. So this is the starter page for your application for the Hire a New Apprentice payment. It provides you with the information you need in order to understand and complete your application, if applicable, of course. Specifically, it explains the eligibility criteria for your learners, the payment amounts, what the payment can be used for, and what you'll need in order to complete the application. But once you've read through that and you're happy to start, you can click Start Now. So on this page, we ask you to confirm whether or not you have taken on new apprentices who started their contract of employment between the 1st of August 2020 and 31st of January 2021. Of course, if you do not have any apprentices who meet this criterion, you would select no, and your application would end at this point. If you do have apprentices who meet the criteria, you would select yes, and you would click continue. So this is the page in which you select the apprentices that you want to apply for. Here we are showing you the apprentices that have been added to your apprenticeship service account that have planned start dates between August 1st, 2020 and January 31st, 2021. At this point, you must only select apprentices whose contracts of employment started between the eligible dates by checking the box to the left of their name. So yeah, you can see and select the specific apprentices for whom you wish to apply from this list. And having ticked the desired boxes, you can then select continue in order to proceed. So at this point of the application, you're able to see a summary of the apprentices you wish to apply for and can make any changes if necessary before you then confirm your selection. You'll also see that a payment amount is shown against each apprentice you're applying for, which is calculated against their date of birth. We also note here that your payment amount may change if the apprentice has their 25th birthday before they start their apprenticeship. So put simply, if they are 24 at their planned start month, but then they don't start their apprenticeship until after they turn 25, then the payment amount would move from £2,000 to the £1,500 payment amount at the actual point of payment. So yeah, please check that all the apprentices you are applying for are eligible before selecting confirm in order to proceed. So this takes us to the declaration page, where you confirm that in submitting this application, everything you've said is correct, that apprentices must have started their contract of employment between the 1st of August 2020 and 31st of January 2021, that the ESFA must be told of any changes to the information you've provided, that you've read and understood the agreement, and that any inaccurate or misleading information may result in you having to repay any relevant Hire a New Apprentice payments. So having done that, you would then select the confirm and submit button if you're happy to declare that information and proceed accordingly. Cool. So it's at this point in the application that we inform you that we require your organisation's bank details. So the user has the option here to either proceed and supply their banking information now, or to come back at a later stage if they would prefer. You're also informed of the information you'll need to provide, so you can decide whether or not you're ready to proceed. So if you were to select no, you are then taken to the following screen. Great, so you're informed here that your application is saved and that we still need your organisation's banking information. Currently, the route to get back in to be able to submit this information is via an email that we'll have sent to you when you selected no on the previous page, and which will contain a link back here. We also send you an email if you click yes, just in case you drop out while submitting your banking information in the next section. But if we were to go back to the previous screen and we would click yes. Great. Thanks, Adam. So this is the starting point for submitting your organisation's banking information. It highlights that we need this information in order to make payments to you, and that you can only add one bank account per organisation, and that this is the account we would use to make all of your payments. You're also informed of what you will need to provide in order to add your organisation's bank account details, namely your organisation's legal name, registered address and contact details, your company's house number if you have one, an email address for which you'd like your remittance advice to be sent, contact details for either a finance director or finance lead within your organisation, and finally your actual bank account details. So if we then click continue, that's just loading, you bear with us. Great. So you're then taken to this, the introduction page for providing organisation information about your banking and payments to DFE. You're also provided with an email address should you need any assistance with this part of the application, but you would then click continue in order to advance to the next stage. You'll also note that the tabs at the top give you an idea of the upcoming sections. Great. So on this, the organisation details page, you're asked to provide information relating to your overall organisation. I should emphasise at this point that all the information we are providing today is dummy data for the purposes of this demonstration. I'd also flag that the more details you can provide here, the quicker the verification process will be. So on organisation name, this has got to be your legal name, or your business's legal name, I should say, as registered with Companies House or self-assessment. On the telephone number, it should be a UK landline ideally, but of course if you don't have a landline, you can provide a mobile there. Make sure you enter the number without any spaces. Company's house number is optional. Of course, not every organisation has a company's house number. If you're not sure what yours is, you can find it on Company's House. For VAT number, this is optional as well, and this is 9 numbers, sometimes with GB at the start. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can find this on your VAT registration certificate. For SME, these are basically organisations with 250 employees or less, and an annual turnover that's £50 million or less. UK PRN should only apply to employer providers. And DUNS number, if you know your DUNS number, or it's your data universal numbering system number, you can provide this here. Otherwise, you can click continue. Cool. So on this page, you provide your non-banking information. So you need to put in an address. So the address can either be in the UK or it can be an international address. I would also flag that it's got to be the address that's registered with Companies House, or if you're not on Companies House, with the relevant bank account that you're supplying the information for today, well, within your application. So I'll just let Adam fill out that information. Great. So for your remittance details, preferably use a generic mailbox email address. And obviously all email addresses must be in the right format, like name@example.co.uk. And for your organization's finance director or lead, for the contact details or the email address there, make sure you use an organization email address, not a personal one. And if your finance director or lead only has a personal email address, you can tell us why in the additional comments at the end of this form. Okay. So this takes us to the bank details page. So for the bank account, it must use an 8-digit account number and 6-digit sort code with no spaces, pretty standard. I would also reiterate my earlier point that this is all fake data for the purposes of this demonstration. So it's at this point, whilst you're submitting your banking information, that the form will actually check if it's a real account. So that's just what Adam's doing there by clicking that button. And they've been accepted. If you have your IBAN or SWIFT code, you can also input them there. Otherwise, you can click continue. And the person completing the form actually needs to enter their own contact details here. They should use their own email address and not a generic mailbox for this. Fab. And they also provide their telephone number, and they can also input any additional comments in that box below. Cool. So on this page, you have the opportunity to check your answers before you submit the information that you've provided. You also then at the bottom declare that you've understood the 3 pieces of information at the end of this page, which I don't think I need to read out now, just to give you an idea. And when you're happy, you can click submit. Fab. So on this page, we confirm that we have received your details and we provide you with a reference number for any queries. You do have the option here to download a copy of the details you've submitted, should you wish. Otherwise, you can select the link in blue there and you can proceed back to your apprenticeship service account. So yep, on this page, we confirm that your application is complete and we provide you with some information on what happens next, including when you might expect to get paid. Thank you, everyone. That is the end of our demonstration. So I'm now